Yeah, I just wanted to get up a couple things about this, just character names. I'm so concerned about like saying character names.
Oh, I feel ya. And like, I realized as we were getting to review this, I was like, oh, I actually know next to nothing about Captain America and the lore surrounding him. So I was like, oh boy, this is gonna be a tricky one. I think I got most of them from this episode, but we'll see.
Yeah, you're like, oh my god, when I got that text, you're like, my neighbor told me about Omega Red, and I looked at it, I was like, who is she?
Well, the reason I knew Omega Red was because it's more of an X-Men character. I guess it's kind of associated with Captain America, but that's the only reason I knew it. When you started introducing like Isaiah Bradley to me and Carly the super soldier, I was like, I don't know who these people are.
Right? It's like Carly.
Yeah.
Super soldier. Like, okay.
That's gonna be her name on our podcast, Carly Super Soldier.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know what to do with what I've been given. Because I feel like we've been given a lot, but I don't know.
It's hard to unpack this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's start by talking about Drag Race first.
You're gonna make me talk about it. Oh.
I mean, we have to eventually.
I feel physically ill from watching it last night. The jokes were so mean-spirited from Utica. I wanted her to leave. I wanted her to lose the lip sync.
Yeah, right? And I was like, do you know what? It was Ariana Grande. I'm like, there's no way she could win against Simone.
No.
And the fact that in the rehearsal, or in the coaching, she was told like
not to do those things.
Yeah, like really politely, the Timon and Pumbaa joke, it didn't sit or it didn't hit.
Yeah.
So she transferred the joke from Rue to Ross, which hit even worse.
Yeah.
I was like, this is terrible.
Yeah. It was mean.
Yeah, and like
it was mean. I don't know.
Like the things that you wrote that you were told were mean, that you were politely told were mean, and then told again that they were mean, and then you to do them anyway, and then to get like heckled by the judges. Ooh, that was the icing on the cake for me when she was like, hey, you're the one bombing. You're the one fucking it up. Like
everything about that, like I felt so uncomfortable watching that episode. I could not wait until it was over. Like it was bad.
The level of uncomfortable I felt while watching that is like the level of uncomfortable I feel every time they do Snatch Game. And I'm always so worried that someone is going to like
make a fool.
Yeah, just be so embarrassing. And I just didn't think that level of embarrassing was like over the top. I don't know that anyone has ever been that mean.
Yeah.
Not in recent memory anyway with that show. And I just was like, when you get looks from Nina West that are just like,
yeah. It was, I don't know. I feel bad for anybody though that's in that situation where you have to do a roast, like, and especially in this day and age, because like, I mean, everything is, we're a lot more in tune with people's feelings, and I'm like, I would hate to do a roast. I would hate it, because if you miss the mark, you fall flat, like you fall hard, and this is a perfect example of it. I'm like, that's my worst nightmare.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just the roast of Justin Bieber and the roast of Charlie Sheen were probably two of the best roasts I've ever seen, and they were mean, but it was still funny.
Was Charlie Sheen? I have seen that roast. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, roasts are allowed to be mean, but they have to be clever. Like if you're not clever about it, you're just being nasty. Like you have to like give it playfulness.
Yeah, and the idea that she stood behind the mean jokes, I think, was even harder to watch. And
I know.
But yeah,
I'm happy Simone won that lip sync though, thank goodness. Not pleased that Candy won the challenge. I think Rosé should have won. But whatever. Or Gottmik. Gottmik was great too.
Yeah. I just don't like. It's like the first time you cinch your waist, but your wig still looks ratchet. Like,
oh, it was so ratchet. Yeah.
Yeah, Michelle Visage is like, I would have liked a little more height. I was like, well, I would have liked a little more height. She could have brushed it. She could have styled it, like fucking anything.
It was a mess.
I do have to admit that the cinched waist was cute. I was surprised to see that.
Yeah.
And happy to see that, actually. But I don't feel like it was enough. Like, I was like, me and my sister were watching it, and I was like, if Candy Muse wins, I'm going to be mad. Because her runway is not going to be enough to allow her to win the night. But apparently it was. It should have been, I agree with you, it should have been Rosé or Gottmik.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad we're through that, and I hope Candy's gone next week, but God only knows, because clearly the producers have a heavy hand in who stays and who goes, because there's no way Candy should have lasted this long, but here we are.
No. Yeah, so, like, as much as, like, Tina Burner shouldn't have lasted as long as she did, but she should have lasted longer than Candy Muse.
I agree. Yeah, and so should have Denali. Denali just had an unfortunate position.
Yes, she should have lasted long, and she should have lasted longer than both of those hoes. But
I know.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be Gottmik. I wanted it to be Gottmik, Utica, and Rosé, but it's probably going to be Gottmik, Rosé, and Simone. Olivia is the next. If it's not Candy, Olivia is the next to go, because she's not great either.
Yeah, I don't understand the hype about Olivia. I see that she's nice, but I don't know. I don't really get it. She's not really pulling me in, so.
No, she's just pretty.
Yeah, she's very pretty, but I'm like, she's not funny. And, I don't know. But.
Yeah.
Oh, I am so glad that episode is over.
Oh, right? God. Tell me about it. All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Full Volume Podcast. I am your host, G.I. Jolie, and as always, I am joined by...
Harvey Brent.
And today we're talking about RuPaul's Drag... No. Today we have to tackle the gigantic hurdle-sized mountain that is Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Episode 2. We have committed ourselves to Marvel Plus and... Marvel Disney Plus.
Marvel Plus.
To their Marvel Universe offerings, and we started with WandaVision. We are continuing on into the espionage-driven adventures of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and today we're rejoined by Harvey Brent. Yay!
She's back in a normal
She's loud. Role. Yeah. She's on top, as always.
Mm-hmm. As never. But okay, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. So, right before we hit record, we decided that, we had chatted about it a little bit. And, again, the fear of getting names wrong is always a thing. But, here's the thing. I almost don't care that I get the names wrong, because I want to say that I care what's happening.
I have not listened to your episode with Josh Mervell last week. Was that the same consensus? It's just not.
Well, no.
Okay.
I didn't mind the first episode. The consensus was, there's probably a lot happening. This definitely should have come before WandaVision. They should have kept the order of things.
I know.
Because it is very this show is very much a continuation of after Endgame, and it feels like a Marvel film, but WandaVision was there to kind of pull everyone into Disney Plus, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
And I feel like the decision was made because they knew that this was what this show was. And that if they started with this show, people might not stick around for WandaVision and Loki. Well, shit. People were always going to tune into Loki. If they had started it off with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, there was a very good chance that people were not going to come in for WandaVision.
I would agree with that. And it's, again, nothing against anybody in this cast. Perfectly fine show that we're watching right now, and we'll get into it. But it just does not grip you. It's not different enough from a lot of the other MCU films that we've seen. WandaVision was so widely different, and I feel like we're not the only people that think that. I think a lot of people are on the same wavelength that WandaVision was so different that I think it reinvigorated the MCU a bit. This kind of goes back to familiar territory, and it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's like we just did like a bump and now we're like coming down, like it's just like at the end we're coming down and we're kind of back to reality. And so, because WandaVision's so trippy and cool and all this stuff, I don't know. It's great. And we have a lot to talk about. I mean, I think this will be kind of a quick episode, but at the same time, there's stuff to talk about. It's just not the same level of intrigue that we're used to. Yeah. We're adjusting.
It's very much, it gave me shades of like the way that those films introduced to us Hawkeye. Like in a very, very calm way, in a very like expository dialogue kind of way. And they're still sort of doing it. I really liked the first episode because I got to see way more of the Falcon. And it made me not just hot for Anthony Mackie anymore. I was like, ooh, who is Sam Wilson? I haven't really always liked Bucky. I could take him or leave him. Sebastian Stan is like gorgeous. But there was always something that left me wanting more when it came to the Falcon's character. And the first episode really delivered that. It was great. We had some complaints about the dialogue. I made a Bridgerton reference.
Naturally. Yeah.
Right? But it's like the writing is not at the same level as WandaVision. Like I would say WandaVision is kind of like, if you're comparing it, it's like WandaVision is HBO and Falcon and the Winter Soldier is like Stars.
I was going to say like PBS. No,
no, I was like, harsh. Sometimes you get some good stuff on PBS. But like if you said like I didn't want to immediately go to like the networks because some of the writing is good on the networks, but there was like a different like level. You don't get a lot of sci-fi on networks, so I went with Stars. Yeah,
no, that's an apt comparison.
Yeah, where the writing and the thought behind concepts is really cool, but it's not like super.
Yeah,
it's like, I mean, it's not like Twilight level dialogue.
No, but it's just it's just average.
Yeah, and it's shockingly average.
Yeah.
So anyway, the plot of this. Do you want to do plot? Just brief plot summary.
Okay. Let's try.
What happened? I
don't know. So I mean, we started off the episode getting a bit more. Well, we left off the last episode. The final scene was the introduction of the new Captain America, and like the way they kind of set that up was like you kind of expected him to be. I don't know, just like it's such a stereotype and a trope to have be like you introduce him at the end and it's almost like sinister, like, oh, this guy's bad news. And it opens up with this episode and he's actually not that bad yet. He seems like a decent enough guy at the beginning. He's more concerned about the job and he's less about the pomp and the frills. Like he had like his mandatory interview at his old high school or whatever, and he's kind of just like, going through the motions of that, and he seems to be more into the job, which is like, okay, maybe he's not the, dickhead that we thought he was going to be, right? Yeah. Meanwhile,
I mean, he looks like the Chad we expect him to be, but
he looks like such a Chad. Oh man. By the way, the character's name for the listeners is John Taylor, I believe. That's the new Captain America. Well, I mean, he goes by, I think, eventually U.S. Agent. But I believe the character's name in the show is John Taylor. Are you verifying that?
Yeah, I am. I just want to make sure. Okay. His name is Wyatt Russell.
Oh, the actor.
He plays John Walker.
Oh, sorry. John Walker. I don't know why I said Taylor. It is Walker.
Okay.
Anyways, I'm sorry. John Walker. that is who's playing Captain America. And so, anyways, meanwhile, at the same time, Bucky and Falcon are they are tracking down. They got a lead, and they're tracking down some goods that are being smuggled in Europe, and they find out it's by the Flag Smashers. And so, so cue intensive chase scene, or not chase scene, I guess high octane truck fight scene on top of two semis. Bucky gets the snot beaten out of him on top of this semi, just gets the shit kicked out of him. And that's when new Captain America gets woven into the plot. He, drops in from a helicopter. And this is where things kind of start to take a turn. He uses a gun, which I thought was that was actually clever. It's a very quick moment, but the camera lingers on it for an extra second where he either lingers on him or it lingers on one of their Winter Soldier or Falcon's reaction. But he uses his gun to free Bucky. He shoots like someone that's holding Bucky. And so that's something Captain America, Steve Rogers, would never do. And so that was a quick little like wink, like maybe this guy is kind of a wiener. And so, anyways, fighting ensues. Bucky and Falcon actually lose the altercation. And later on, they have some exposition with the new Captain America, with John Walker, not John Taylor. And so they kind of have some exposition there. John Walker says, he's really serious about the Captain America, moniker. He wants to take it seriously. And so again, you're kind of conflicted because I thought he was going to be a wiener, but he has some good intentions. So it's like, where are they going with this? And then after that, we get some scenes of Falcon and Winter Soldier. They're, I believe it's Bucky that takes Falcon to the house of the first ever Captain America who was swept away by the history books, Isaiah Bradley.
Yes.
Yeah. And so that's a great scene where Isaiah basically was the first ever, or not first ever. I think really he is a myriad of different African-American men who were tested on for super soldier abilities. And obviously, there's a whole subtext to that about, experimenting on different races to perfect it so then they can apply it to the white race. And I think that's what they were insinuating with that. And I mean, I would not be surprised if that was the case. And so really kind of introducing Falcon to that world, I believe. And then Bucky gets arrested. I don't actually know why they get stopped by the cops outside. I think just because they were getting in a heated argument. Something like that. And so anyways, Bucky gets arrested because he actually missed his court mandated therapy. And so and so that leads to like a great scene there where he gets bailed out by John Taylor, again, who wiener. And so he goes back and forth between honorable and wiener. And so, but then that leads to kind of like a group therapy session between Falcon and Winter Soldier a little bit, where they kind of like they're honest with each other about, why they kind of irritate each other. Because they have that kind of like antagonistic relationship. They're both heroes, but they're at each other's throats a lot, which is, I think that's one of the aspects of the show that I hope they do more with it, because it is entertaining, and that's what's different from a lot of these espionage spy style properties you've seen out there. Like, if you can keep that bickering relationship between Falcon and Bucky, that's something different. Oh
yeah, and I do want to point out, he also the thing that would make the thing that would actually be better about this new Captain America, if you could even make it any better, is that if he didn't use a gun, and if he didn't expect the Falcon and Bucky to be his like freaking sidekicks. He was like, it would just be nice to have Cap's secondhand men by my side. It's like,
that's such a slap,
right? It's like, bitch, just because the American government gave you that shield does not make you. It doesn't mean you should have taken it. Yeah. Like, get a grip. Also, the fact that when he bails Bucky out of jail, hello Wilbur Murray, I can hear her drinking her water. No, like the fact that he bailed him out, he's waiting outside of the precinct where he is or wherever they're holding him up, and he rubs it in his face a little bit, which annoys me so much. I was actually anyway, we'll get back to bitching about him because there's a lot to complain about with that dude. But there is a Captain America story by Kyle Baker, where Truth, Captain America Truth, red, white, and black. It's about so it's about a black Captain America, and it's that story. I don't know that his name is Isaiah Bradley. I think that it is.
It's from 2003, I think.
Yeah. So I love that they're bringing in, I love that they're bringing in this character, and I hope we get to see more of it because while we were we read it for like a book club for Detroit Comics, but while I was reading it, I was like, this would make the perfect like complement to all of the Captain America films that are happening, because you get to see the different the super soldier lore that's happening. So anyway, I really liked that scene. There's a lot of there's one thing that we wanted to talk about in the last episode, me and Josh, but we didn't get to it, and that was the way that Black Americans are treated in America. And that's how, and you see it in Falcon's character, and it's nothing that's ever addressed because you just assume that everything is right and good.
Well, for him, for him anyways, because he's a superhero. Yeah,
with those Avengers movies, but it's like, no, here's the thing, he's still black. He's still a Black American, and he's still being discriminated at the bank. He's still being, even though he's not the one yelling the loudest when he's fighting with Bucky in the middle of the streets in that neighborhood, he's still the one that's targeted by the cops. He's like, they're like, excuse me, sir, is this man, pointing at Sam, is this man bothering you?
Yeah.
And then Bucky's like, are you kidding me? Do you know who this is?
Yeah.
And they still were like, sir, you're getting out of hand. I was like, are they gonna fucking shoot? They're gonna shoot Sam. Oh no, and I thought for a second we were going there, and then they didn't go there because I think there was enough of the look on Sam's character, like on the actor's face, to say, like, look, Marvel, this Marvel show is not going to, I'm not going to do the work for you as a Black American, and this show is not going to do the work for you. You don't understand, if watching this show, you don't understand what this altercation means, then, or if you disagree with what's happening, or if you even agree with what the cops are doing to him, then maybe this isn't like, maybe you have a lot of work to do, and you have a lot to think about, because there's so much quiet context in that scene, or subtext, and it was so good.
A lot of it was just insinuated, but like it was very clear to people that are sensitive to the matter, and like, I mean, for myself, I knew exactly what was going on, you know? So, it wasn't like rubbing your face in it, but it's presenting a fairly realistic situation of what I imagine would probably happen.
Yeah. Like, Sam may be an Avenger, but he still has to go to the bank and get a loan for the family business with his sister. Sam may be an Avenger, but he's still, racially targeted by the cops. It's all stuff that happens no matter what. It's like these people who you read comics about and who you watch on television, there's still some work to be done in your country, and it's still freaking happening. So anyway, I just wanted to get that out because we didn't get it out last episode. There's just too many happy things to talk about, but also too many lousy things to talk about. That would have just it brought the room, it would have brought the room down just a little bit. But anyway, is that where we end off? No,
we're close to the end though.
Yeah, so continue.
Where did I leave off? They went to see Isaiah Bradley. They had couples therapy.
Cute.
Cute. I'm probably missing a scene, but I think the last scene I remember is Bucky and Sam agree, or they insinuate, or they mull over the fact that they should probably reach out to Helmut Zero, played by Daniel Bruhl. Is that not? And then it was a quick cutaway to Daniel Bruhl in prison.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That sets up our next episode, I believe.
Yeah, and it was so quick. How dare you tease me like that? He's got a great profile, doesn't he? Anyway.
I know.
Oh yeah, and that's.
Did I miss anything? I guess there was some exposition about the Flag Smashers back at their base, and like I guess something I kind of like skimmed over is that they were stealing supplies that were, I think they saw like vaccines, was it not? They were stealing some sort of vaccines, yes. But some other things too. And there was some interactions there with the Flag Smashers about, you know, a little bit more about their motives and, you know, taking care of the people that were left behind during the blip, and how once everybody reappeared, things kind of went back to how they were with different government leaders in charge and whatnot. So that they were trying to get back to how things were during the blip, is my understanding.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they remember, the idea is that the group remembers that it was like they're a part of a small group of people in the world who believe that the world was better when there were less people. And do you know what?
I know I'm going to say the same thing. I'm like, are they wrong?
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it really. I remember in grade 4 when they were telling us about the exponential growth of the human population. If it didn't get curbed, then we would be in big trouble. And climate change, and the sun is expanding, and soon it will envelop the earth. And I thought to myself, one, I had like an existential crisis
in grade 4.
And two, I thought, well, they also were teaching us, well, that won't happen in your lifetime. You'll be fine. You'll be hundreds of years long dead.
Mm-hmm.
But to find out that potentially I could be 80 and treading water is a little frightening.
Yeah. Things are accelerating a little quick. And it's not so much that I hope nobody interprets that as that we want half the population of the world to die. No. What we want is sustainable policies and practices through our governments that allow us to continue to live at a human race at a sustainable level. That's what we're trying to say. Yes,
on this planet that we may or may not evolution-wise have chosen to live on, did not choose to live on. We have a responsibility to our given home, whoever gave that to us, and right now we're not being very responsible.
No. So can I totally fault the Flag Smashers? No, but I mean, are they? But I don't know the way they're going to go about doing things. If they're going to start doing terrorist, actions, and it's like, okay, well, you're going about it the wrong way. We shall see what happens.
Yeah, the only cross that they should bear, the only fault they should be that we should lay on them is not finding a better name.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of that name.
No, it's like they're a group of cartoon bank robbers. They're like the Flag Smashers. It's like the Button Pushers or the hair combers. It's just terrible.
The Sticky Bandits.
Even the Sticky Bandits is like, it's better.
It's Home Alone. Of course it's better. Yeah.
Dog washers.
Yeah.
It's like.
It is cartoony. It's a little foolish.
Yeah. But we do get another character, whose name we have to remember. Oof, she has a terrible name. Carly
Super Soldier, as we call her.
Yep.
That's how we're going to remember her.
Yeah, do you know what really kind of bothered me about the whole, like, the introducing the super soldiers as, like, characters we should care about? Is that they try to develop relationships between the two of them. Like, the one guy who, like, sacrifices himself so that the rest of them can get away with the vaccines they just stole. But clearly there's something going on between him and Carly, so but it's like, but they're the bad guys. Like, but they're really bad. Like, I don't care.
Yeah. I'm not there yet.
No, I'm not there. And even when like they find like a sympathizer, like a flag smasher sympathizer who houses them all, and they're all like really excited for clean beds and a whole room to sleep in. Still not there for them.
No.
Can't be excited for their excitement, because it's just like, I don't care who you are. I know that you're bad.
Yeah. That leads me to insinuate that they're eventually not going to be bad, because if they're trying to build sympathy for them now, I'm like, well, why are you doing that? So I feel like there's gonna be a face turn, as they say in wrestling. They're gonna turn face. They're gonna turn into the good guys.
Yeah, there's gonna be a face turn.
Yeah, faces and heels. Heels are the bad guys. Faces are the good guys. We're gonna get a face turn out of these flag smashers. I guarantee it.
Yeah, and I wonder. Okay, one thing that we did say is that we did like that there wasn't like a bunch of things we could over speculate about in this show, which is refreshing. I just like to watch a show just for the sake of watching it.
Yeah.
There's just enough intrigue there that I am a little bit curious, and in order to keep watching. I wonder if after our face turn, if Zemo is gonna, like, they're gonna visit him in jail.
Is he gonna turn face? Is that what you're asking?
Oh no, he's gonna become the heel.
Oh, he's heel. He's full heel.
Yeah, like he will. They'll spring him from the clink to help him in a Hannibal type way. Like, they'll be like, oh well, Zemo's got all the info and intel that we need, so we will free him to help us. But they're technically not government, so maybe they'll convince stupid Captain America. Chad. What are we calling him now? Captain Chad?
Oh, yeah, Captain Chad.
Yeah.
That's what he's asking. Yeah, that's what he's acting like, so for sure.
Yeah, so right before they suggest that they're going to go visit Zemo in prison, they burn that bridge with Captain Chad and his sidekick. And he says something that makes me think that he's going to be a bad guy too. I'm just reading, I have the Wikipedia page open really quick. He again asks Barnes and Wilson to work with him, but they refuse, and Walker warns them to stay out of his way. So I have a feeling maybe, one, the government's going to send Captain Chad after the Flag Smashers, which is going to interfere with what Sam and Bucky are doing. Sam and Bucky know that they need to maybe work with Zemo, and everyone's favorite captain is going to fuck that up somehow. I feel like that's going to be it. I don't know how they're going to redeem him for us. I really don't want them to, because I don't really want to be on this dude's side. I don't like his stupid face.
Oh, I know. He's got a typical like arrogant, Chad face.
Yeah, like
it does.
Hair that's just long enough that he wouldn't be labeled a hippie, just enough facial hair that he isn't going to be labeled neckbeard, and just the right amount of chin that you don't think that he's from anywhere but Texas. Yep.
That's a very good description.
Oh, his eyes are just too blue.
They're too blue. We can talk about his sidekick too. He had his own sidekick.
Yeah, who seems to have his own like axe to grind. I am not remembering until Walker, and is it Lamar Hoskins?
Yeah. Okay. I think his code name is Battlestar. His hero name, is it Battlestar?
Yes, yeah. It is. And when they hear that, who is it? Does Bucky roll his eyes, or does Falcon roll his eyes? And they're like, stop this car, we don't want to ride anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Bucky and Falcon are over it. They're over the whole monetization of superheroes, and they were like, "Ugh, this didn't work out the first time. Like, this isn't what it was about. It's not about the money. It was about, actually upholding values and whatnot."
Yeah, the best part about that that 16-wheel fight, like, one, what the fuck?
Yeah, very Mission Impossible. Very Mission Impossible.
Yeah, two, they got wrecked by those super soldiers.
I know. They got their asses handed to them.
And like, not only did Bucky and Falcon get their asses handed to them, but at least they could put up a fight. Like, they're used to it. But then you see this guy, and he's like, Captain Chad's like, you mess with the wrong person, and she just lays him out. It was the best.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay, go ahead.
I mean, it was capped off by them, like, Anakin and Padme rolling in the...
Yeah.
That was the cutest. Again, cute.
Yeah, it's playing into their buddy dynamic. I was going to say, though, Captain Chad reminds me... Have you seen The Boys on Amazon?
Yes.
He reminds me of a less antagonistic version of Homelander, and I'm wondering, like, I mean, I don't know, again, they're tiptoeing back and forth between he's got some good qualities, he's got some shitty qualities, so I don't know where they're going to go with him, but he gave me a little bit of Homelander vibes there, just that commercial superhero, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and lurking, like, do you know what? That'd be great if they went there. If, like, lurking underneath the surface was, like, somebody who was truly evil.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
We'll see. That would be very interesting.
Yeah, because him and Battlestar were. It seems like they're high school buddies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, two, they could become they are definitely close since they're friends from high school. But two, let's make them the villains as well. Just like people we can hate because we already hate them, but let's make the world hate them more. Actually, the whole idea, the first nail in the coffin was the whole idea that the Smithsonian, of all places, not like the acquisition of antiquities isn't corrupt enough, but like they acquire the shield from Falcon and they immediately fucking hand it over to like the next qualified person. I can't. That upset me so much at the end of the first episode, and then to see how insidious, well, it's not as insidious as I want it to become yet, but like I mean, we have hopes and dreams, but the fact that like when they introduced Walker, he seemed like a pretty nice guy, and I was like, oh shit, this kid just like wants to do good, and he is a total like military brown noser. So it was really hard to hate like a hero, like a home front sort of hero.
Yeah, but he's such a wiener.
But he is, and he's
a wiener.
He's a wiener and he's a dickhead. Like, he's a dickhead about the level of service he's offered on a military front. And I'm like, I can't like him.
And I think that's the thing, though. I think they want you to be upset that he took over the mantle. Like, they want you to realize he is no Steven Rogers.
Yeah.
You know, I think that is intentional. So I'm hoping that pays off. I hope there is a heel turn for Captain Chad.
Captain Chad and Tiny Battlestar.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, I can't remember what you just said. But the whole the idea that Bucky finally just outright comes right out and says it to Falcon that he cannot fathom or understand why Falcon gave up the title.
Right. Yeah.
And they don't have Falcon going into it. I wonder if it plays into the whole if part of it is about,
I was gonna say white supremacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering because
I was gonna say race. I was like, is that too general abroad? But
white supremacy within powerful government institutions, and I wonder maybe he was sensitive to, I don't know. I wonder if they're going to elaborate more on that. He did give an answer, but I can't remember quite quite what it was.
Yeah, like in my mind, I'm equating it to like kind of it's not like a protest, but it's more like a Kaepernick sort of stance.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like,
Gotcha.
well, how can I be Captain America when America is not my America?
Gotcha.
And I'm like,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
hope that is a continuing theme because
Hmm.
it is really just so fucking nice to have like a black actor in the lead
Hmm.
finally. Um
Yeah. I think I like Falcon way more so far in this than I have in any of the other properties like that he's been in.
yeah.
He was usually fairly underwritten.
Yeah, underwritten as sort of like a when they needed somebody who could fly in the air to help solve their superhero problems, Falcon just literally swooped in.
Yeah, he was a bit of a plot device, or not. I
Yeah.
don't even know if that's too generous. Like he wasn't even a plot device. He just, yeah, they just he was convenient for them in certain scenes. But they're giving him more of a spotlight now. So I'm liking the direction they're going with him.
Yeah, and I like how they're keeping Bucky in a not like a role of servitude or anything. I mean, the guy's like 103 years old, but he knows that he can't take up any kind of mantle or inherit a mantle because Steve gave it to Sam.
Hmm.
Sam doesn't feel like he can serve as that moniker for obvious reasons that we discussed. I
Yeah.
like how Bucky is still the sidekick to whatever is happening. Like he's Bucky is comfortable being second fiddle, and it's like
Hmm.
I'm into it.
Yeah, I actually gathered the same thing. I'm not sure who's billed first in the cast, but it actually does feel like this is Falcon's show and that Bucky's tagging along. Like the order of the wording, I think, is intentional. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like Batman and Robin. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I actually kind of gathered that, and I am picking up on that Winter Soldier is actually a little bit of a second fiddle, and I'm okay with that.
Hmm.
It's working well.
Yeah. So now that they've shown us Zemo, it's not that I'm not excited to see where this is going. I definitely want to continue watching the show. I mean, I'm highly entertained.
Mhm.
I'm not spin my wheels conspiracy theorist entertained though.
My Google searches have gone down dramatically compared to WandaVision.
Yeah. Well,
No more Evan Peters fanfic. Yeah.
but I mean, you were always going to look for that stuff regardless of
This is
whether
true.
you were
You got me
being
there.
baited weekly. So
Yeah. You got me there.
I mean, I'm sorry to have to call you out, but I'm partially calling myself out too. So
Yeah.
um I don't know who they have yet to introduce. I really uh
Agent Sharon Carter.
that's it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, her.
Yeah, we have not seen her yet, but I know she's in this, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, and I don't really know how things were left. I can't remember how her character was left in the films.
I know. I feel such a bad Marvel fan. I'm like, where did so and so left off? And then I realized there's like 50 heroes to keep track of. They're like Pokemons at this point. There's so many of them.
Yeah, they're all evolving before our eyes.
Yeah, they are all evolving.
It's hard to catch them all. But yeah,
Hard to catch them all.
um yeah, like I'll definitely think about it. I'll definitely like tune in Friday. If it weren't for the fact that we did this podcast, I would let them gather dust until there are about 3 of them and then watch 3 in a row.
I agree. I wouldn't be tuning in every week, but we have fans to appease too.
Right?
G.I. Jolie.
Yes. We have
All 10 of
consistency.
them.
All 10. But that's
love you
cool.
guys.
That's fine. Yeah, speaking to you all 10, don't forget to write us great mail. Or continue please to send us pictures of Evan Peters.
That invitation now extends though to Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Stan, and Daniel Bruhl.
It
That
sure
does.
does. We don't unfortunately require photos of this other gentleman. I've already forgotten his name. Wyatt Russell.
Oh,
I mean,
Captain Chad. Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't want Captain Chad.
yeah, that's fine. Hey, to each their own. But You can. I mean, if you can't say anything nice, cease to speak.
Yeah, that's a great lesson that Utica should have learned this week. Sorry.
It all is full circle.
Yeah.
You can tune into more episodes of the Full Volume Podcast or any of the Comic Book Syndicate's other great content at www.comicbooksyndicate.com. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at Comic Syndicate or at Comic Book Syndicate or / Comic Book Syndicate, hashtag Full Volume Pod. Until next week's hero-driven episode, I have been your faithful host, G.I. Jolie.
You're the one constant thing in this world. Thank you. I am Harvey Brent.
And until next time, keep it loud.
Keep it at full volume.